All-Ireland semi-finals. Well, let's get the team lineups right now as we head over to the commentary box to hear from Ger Canning.
Thank you, Michael. And for this clash of the Connacht neighbours and rivals, Roscommon on change, but Mayo showing one change that we know of. But as ever, David Clark is in goal. Once again, the calming, reassuring figure at the back. Questions have been asked about the solidity of the full back line, anchored by Ger Cafferty, who missed last year's championship because of a nagging injury. Could be a testing afternoon. Lee Keegan starts at wing half with Chris Barrett in the centre and the equally industrious Colm Boyle retaining his spot at left half. Now in the centre of the field today it'll show Seamus O'Shea in there, while Jason Doherty has been named as a replacement for the injured Tom Parsons. Jason unlikely to play there, of course. The half-forward line contains the very much in-form Aidan O'Shea starting his fourth match since the Connacht Championship, with Diarmuid O'Connor hoping to maintain the consistency he's been showing of late. And at full forward, Mayo have the peerless Cillian O'Connor. 11 points last week, 240 for the season, and a career total of 19 goals, 224 points, a remarkable tally for someone in his 7th championship year, which is more than enough food for thought for the rookie Roscommon goalkeeper Colm Lavin. He's fronted today by evergreen Shawley McDermott, playing his 166th match for the Rossies, while John McManus could well end up playing away from the number 3 position as he did against Galway. Niall McInerney has been used as cornerback and fullback. Sean Mullooly will do another man-marking job, and Brian Stack, of course, got that second crucial goal in the Connacht final. Centre field, according to the numbers, will be Fintan Craig, and man of the match in Galway, Enda Smith. Tygo O'Rourke has played midfield from the start of this season. Cian Connolly is a constant threat, while Conor Devaney has of late been attacking from left half back. And the threat up front, well, it comes from the Murtagh brothers, Kieran and Diarmuid, with Niall Kilroy expected to replicate his work rate in Pearse Stadium, where he covered an immense amount of ground. Roscommon's manager Kevin McStay believes his team are ready for the challenge, but will it be sufficient against the more experienced and physically stronger Mayo, managed by Stephen Rochford? It's time to hear from both men.
You've been here so many times, that must breed a lot of confidence in this Mayo team, the fact that you've won here in so many quarterfinals.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, experience is well and good, but at the same time it's history. You need to go on, you're only as good as your last performance, and we understand that parts of the Cork game were good, but that we obviously need to be more consistent throughout the 70 plus minutes, and that's the aim today.
Yeah, you get to Croke Park and awaiting you as old Connacht rivals, a team like Mayo, obviously with massive experience here. Yeah,
it's a big issue for us. We've never played championship football here as a team. I think one player has played, Shawnee, he's about 50. So no, it is an issue, and you know the sheer physicality and size of the Mayo lads is an issue. We're at base camp. They're very close to the summit. So, but you know, football is football, and daft things happen over the 70 minutes. So we'll be given it the right shot.
We look forward to this game, but just Colm O'Rourke very briefly. The other 2 quarter-finals, it is going to be Monaghan versus Dublin and Armagh.
I like about Mayo, they're building momentum, they have great resilience, great spirit. They haven't been beaten by Roscommon in 16, 17 years.
Paddy Durkin is the man, by the way, they're bringing in.
And Paddy Durkin will be playing in the half-back. But the one thing Roscommon have to say is, let's not do a Galway on it. Let's go out and give it a go. Galway didn't give it a go. They sat back and there was fear in them. Let's Roscommon give it a go, take them on and see who wins. But I think Mayo have the experience and the resilience and the momentum.
The way that the league campaign worked out, if you were to say to anybody back in March or whatever that Roscommon were going to be Connacht champions and playing in an All-Ireland quarter-final, you'd be laughed out of town, surely.
Yeah, well, you know, they've done very well, but you would think that they've probably hit the zenith. I mean, Kerry practiced their game plan for Mayo in the first half against Galway here, that bombardment of the square, which will be extremely disruptive to Mayo. Any team playing against Mayo now, the lesson's clear. I beg the Derry boys, kick the ball long the edge of the square. Twice we kicked the ball in, 1 goal, 1 penalty. Twice in the whole 90 minutes. Roscommon need to go for them there. They're extremely vulnerable. That's the message that comes through loud and clearly over the last 4 or 5 years. Hit them in there where it hurts. They hate it.
But the favourites for this game, Colm, obviously, are Mayo. I mean, here we have a situation with Mayo. All the things that happened last year, the way the season finished up.
And a collision of bodies, but it's going to be a line ball for Roscommon. The early opportunity for them then to mount the first scoring attack. Diarmuid Murtagh in the corner, back into the centre here towards Fintan Craig, trying to get it on the left boot and crack it over the bar, and he's done it after 32 seconds. Great start by Roscommon. That's the big boost they've been looking for.
That's exactly what they need, Jerry. They've started well. We know how dangerous they are.
As the rain lashes down, plays it in field here, in towards Cian Connolly, loses it there to Ger Cafferty, and turn that ball is won back by Malooly, setting up a very good chance. Malooly again, way up there in the attack, blocked out eventually, and they're hedging. Gives it to Lee Keegan, last year's Footballer of the Year. Keith Higgins, on it works towards Jason Doherty, does an immense amount of good work. There's a sweeper back there, and he's missed it. The sweeper was Niall Kilroy, and it's Killian O'Connor who advances here, has Andy Moran to chip it over the bar, and Andy Moran has missed. How on Boyle retreats instead, all the way back as far as Kilroy. Into Fintan Craig once again, very good left boot. Here's Enda Smith. Kilroy, they're just slowing the pace of the game, trying to make sure, goes through a group of Roscommon blockers, or Mayo blockers rather, back towards Smith, and Smith has caught it beautifully. Second point.
Fantastic score, Jerry. Again, that came from a Roscommon turnover. They were patient. They got it to the right man. Enda Smith with a fantastic effort.
Well, he had a wonderful game in 45-metre line, but they're able to break it forward here now to Kevin McLaughlin. Quick look up, spots the run there of Chris Barrett. Into Lee Keegan, fancies this one, and why not with shooting like that? Super kick.
Excellent score by Lee, off the inside of his right foot. They were found the space, Roscommon were sitting back, but Lee was happy to have a shot, and you know, you can do that all day.
2 points to 1. It's taken 8 minutes for Mayo to get their first score. They'll be hoping now to build upon the confidence that's obviously going to give. Malooly. All the way back here as far as Shorty McDermott. Tiger O'Rourke had a very good season as well. Mostly used as a midfielder. This is Kieran Murtagh, the captain. It's a great ball inside here to Craig. He's got the first point. Oh! I'm not sure he was going for a goal, probably a point, but he's got 3 points instead. It's first ever championship goal. What a start for the Rossies.
Absolutely, he meant it, Jerry. You see his body language, he just shaped it up, he's taking a point, he just dinked it over the keeper. Fantastic finish.
Well, it was a superb take. And that bounces rather awkwardly. Seamus O'Shea's outnumbered. Finally, Brian Stack gets it away. After him comes Paddy Durkin. Well, Durkin's a man who can get plenty of points in Croke Park. He's done so in the past in major matches, but he needs to defend well. Devaney sending it long, ambitiously up there towards Diarmuid Murtagh, onto his brother Kieran. There's another one. Is it going to be one of those days for Roscommon? And another heartbreak for Mayo. Very early times. 12 minutes are gone. And the Murtagh brothers combined. Diarmuid for his captain and brother Kieran, who cracks in his 6th ever championship goal before Colin Boyle can get to him. And it's 2-2 to a point.
Excellent finish
Roscommon in dreamland.
Unbelievable start to the game for them. You know, both teams are set up similar. Niall Kilroy's playing as a sweeper, and Lee Keegan's on the break.
Yeah, here's Keegan. He's got loads of space. It's a 3 against 2. Fires it in. There's another goal. Quick response. Lee Keegan. Goal and a point for him. Well, the man who scored in the All-Ireland final last year has got one here off a defender.
Lucky with the finish, but you know, credit to him.
McInerney goes out to try and shadow him. Back in towards Durkin again. Got 2 points against Cork. Thought he'd won the game in normal time, and this one he boots to the left. And it's gone off a defender, and the referee, I think, is bringing the play back. There's a free action. Team doctor Martin Daly in to attend to him. So a temporary substitute will be required for the Rossies. And one at the other end, Killian O'Connor getting ready to kick this one. 19 goals in his first 40 championship matches. That compares with Henry Shefflin, who in his first 40 championship matches with the Hurlers of Kilkenny also got 19 goals, but Henry had about 70 more points at this stage. Just waiting for the replacement to come in. And it's going to be Army man Ian Kilbride, back from 6 months in the Leb, ready to come in and take his place in for Tiger Rourke on a temporary basis. Killian O'Connor gets his first point of the match. But
I think we must go back to be more patient and just find the right man.
that was an interesting one in there, probing, well dealt with by David Clark. Back out as far as Aidan O'Shea, and they want a big, big performance from O'Shea. See them through to a semi-final, which would be against Kerry. Lee Keegan. Kevin McLaughlin now, quick look up. Big gap between the 65-metre line and basically the 13-metre line inside. So he's got to do a lot of carrying. Roscommon have a lot of bodies back, funneled back in key areas. Shamie O'Shea chipping, held on to by Killian O'Connor, returned here as far as Doherty, taken over by Chris Barrett. Beautiful ball inside to Moran, able to hold on to it, releasing it outside here to Lee Keegan. And Keegan has been doing all of the scoring.
Another great score by Lee. You know, Roscommon have good defensive shape, but they're not pushing out, you know, quick enough. And again, Lee, I think that's 1-2 now. He's keeping Mayo in touch here.
Some concern, I know, among the managers before the game about the number of players slipping in the previous match. Dermot Murtagh kicking, and he's put that one wide, and that is a bad miss from just 20 metres out. Should have been able to nail it.
You'd expect Dermot to stick that over the bar, especially when they get the space, because it's hard to find their men, Gerard, because Keith Higgins is just stationed on the D, which means...
Boyle again, rounding one man, and the second. Kilroy can't get to him, it's still Boyle. Fed beautifully inside here. Back once more. That was hard going, that was tough work, but they've made it in the end. Superb piece of work by Colin Boyle.
Yeah, they worked well, you know, got Colin in the space, they tapped it over the bar, but Mayo were starting to edge into the game, Gerard. You know, Roscommon have gone back into their shell.
It gets too complex, it's allowing Mayo to counter-attack quickly. They're a point behind, remember, at this stage, maybe not for very much longer. Andy Moran steadying himself, has a quick look up, very good kick by Moran. Mayo have now scored 1-4 without a reply, and the teams are level, thanks to Andy Moran.
Yeah, great score by Andy. I just worry, Ger, you know, that's a couple of attacks we've seen Roscommon, and they've been turned over quite easily, so they can't afford to give the ball away in those areas.
Well, Roscommon will be hoping that we haven't seen the best of them yet. They went through a very fallow period in the Connacht final as well, I seem to remember, against Galway that day after a bright opening. David Murray was fouled, the referee allows an advantage. Kieran Murtagh once again trying to work his way forward. That's not easy. The referee says the defender here had hands all over him, that defender being Chris Barrett. Referee Joe McQuillan, who was in charge also of Mayo's Connacht champion.
Compose and find the right pocket of space.
Well, that's their task. And this is Dermot Murtagh now, outside the 45-metre line. That breeze against him, and he really didn't make a good fist of that one. Not today, even though they've scored 2 goals, there's not that same consistency of threat coming from Roscommon.
Yeah, you'd have to say that obviously they were in trouble at the start, but they've obviously tidied things up there with Keith dropping back now.
Colin Lavin has never scored in the championship, and that remains the case still. Work by the 22-year-old former Young Footballer of the Year, racing through, caught somewhat cynically there. And it'll be interesting to see what the referee's view of this is.
To revert back to that, they'll get more joy.
I think the referee has taken the option. That was the first foul by Tiger Rourke, so no card given, but clearly has to be on his guard. Killian O'Connor has pointed one already, and from 20 metres out he was unlikely to miss with that one. So it's Mayo who take the lead here, and a problem or two to be addressed by Kevin McStay and his backroom team. Short kick out. David Murray almost put in difficulty. 1-6 to 2-2. That's 9 points to 8 in Mayo's favour. And you can see it's 20 minutes now since Roscommon last scored. And this has been a very, very fallow period, and you're unlikely to win a quarter-final of the All-Ireland going that length of time without challenging the scoreboard operator to move the numbers. Fintan Craig. Bounces kindly here for Niall McInerney. Skids inside past Keane Mayo since the concession of those early goals. All the damage done by Roscommon in the opening 12 minutes. Now it's a different picture. And it's Brendan Harrison who sets up Lee Keegan, who's got a goal and 2 already, and who's enjoying the target practice. 1-3 for the Westport player.
Great score by Lee. Do you want to... he's finding too much room out on this side. Emma Smith's picking him up. I'm not sure that's the right...
And he's made the most of the chance. So a point between them. There'll be 2 additional minutes played at the end of the opening 35. Mayo have made a recovery, but it's Roscommon who are trying to finish the stronger. Not if Aidan O'Shea has his way. Now he's showing prominently. Chris Barrett fouled. Says to the referee, did you see that? Referee says, play on, get on with the game. Good approach. Aidan O'Shea trying to split 2 defenders, but that time it's John McMahon has reached down, caught it well, gave it to Kilroy. Back up once again it comes. This is Kieran Murtagh. To his right he's got Murray to give the obvious ball to him, gives it to him. David Murray, never scored in the championship either. Back once again through one Murtagh to another. This is Kieran, and that is a poor attempt.
Could be a black card, yeah, because, you know, Kelly was tracking back and he drew the boot, but I think he's letting away with it.
No card issued. The referee has kept his cards in his pocket during the opening 35 minutes. This is on for Jason Doherty, looking to hit one and get it inside that left hand upright. First point of the day for Jason Doherty. Well, he's one of the unsung heroes in this Mayo team. Always puts in a very, very big effort, and he's got...
Attendance here today, by the way, in Croke Park is 65,746. Let's see what the panel think. Colin Rourke, your assessment of the first half.
Well, you assessed it better than any of us, I think, at the break, Michael. You said Roscommon played like hell for the first quarter and then looked as if they ran out of puff, and I think that's exactly what it was. They got a bit of stage fright, I think, when they went 7 points up, and were playing really, really well and going at it. And it's as if their energy level sagged after that. But like, it looked at that stage as if the Mayo ship had finally run aground. But you can only admire the likes of Lee Keegan and Colin Boyle. In the first 20 minutes, when everything was going wrong, they were the 2 men for me who really stood up and were counted and went at Roscommon and went at them again. And Aidan O'Shea and Keith Higgins and a few more joined the battle. But I think that Mayo now have got to grips with Roscommon. I'm surprised that they're allowing Roscommon take short kickouts because they have an obvious advantage around the middle of the field in power. But it's a much better game, a much more interesting game, and a much more, I think, entertaining and intriguing battle than the first game was.
Well, I think in fairness, that wouldn't have been too hard. But Joe, picking up on what Colin said there, like, I got the same feeling that Colin mentioned there after the first 10 or 15 minutes. I said Mayo are gone here.
Well, they're
finished. And then the goals, you know, really made it look that way.
I'm tempted to say, you know, Roscommon have been competing very well against Lee Keegan. I mean, we saw one of the superstars of football in the first game, Kieran Dunny, in the first half, strutting his stuff. And Lee Keegan, you know, whenever he finally passes away, they should put his heart in a cabinet and put it on public display. I mean, he scored 1-3 in the first half, and he's driving them on just the way he drove them on in the All-Ireland final last year until he got the black card in the second half. And he looked that he was going to go and win that All-Ireland for them that day. And again today, the 1-3 at a time when Mayo were all over the place, you know. And Roscommon, in fairness, they went out and they said, look, we're not going to die wondering here, but the big issue, which Pat's going to talk about, is the inactivity of their inside forwards. Their work rate is simply not acceptable at this level. And as the game is going on, Roscommon are running out of options.
But it was, as we said, Roscommon who made the better start. I mean, those 2 goals, they had their Roscommon fans here in Croke Park jumping out of their seats.
Well, I take Joe's piece as well here. So
Go on, you might as well, yes.
Yeah, and you know, like, I would agree with the boys. Roscommon started like a whirlwind and played all the best of the football. Again, we see frailties in Mayo's defence, but this was a super. This was no fluke. This guy, Fintan Craig, who wouldn't be known as a goal poacher, look, the head is up. and he lobs David Clark. Now it's
was
not
a
easy.
belter.
That
It was
is
a
an
belter.
absolutely fantastic goal.
He went for a point. He's a left-footed player. He never
no
kicks
way.
with his right
I
foot.
give him the benefit
Never
of the doubt.
kicks with his right
Then
foot.
Joe came the second goal.
Well, I must say, I thought he deliberately meant the first one.
I did
Again,
too.
look straight through the middle again. I mean, they're so wide open as they've been all throughout the championship. It's a huge worry for them. And what has started to happen though now is that the two inside Roscommon's two targets, Cian Connolly and Dermot Murtagh, haven't won a ball. They're getting their hands to the ball. They're not holding on to it. They're not laying it off. I mean, Jared Cafferty's behind his man all the time. And what has increasingly happened, particularly since Keegan's goal and his sort of inspiring of Mayo's comeback, is that Roscommon have really just become so static in their inside line that there are no options, particularly with Roscommon playing with a full-time sweeper. It means the inside forwards have to work that bit harder, and their work rate is nowhere near the level that's acceptable. I mean, I have to say, myself and Pat were just looking down in shock at them actually standing there.
And the two of you actually agreed on that, which is amazing.
Come on, Nick, Colin. Let's try and keep this adult.
All right, we are headed for a break here on the Sunday game. Straight after
game, one Roscommon player has scored from play. The Mayo forwards have got 2 points in play. Well, you can say this is the modern game, and fair enough. But what annoys us, and this is the point we want to make, is because Roscommon brought so many bodies back behind the ball, they hadn't too many players up front. And we're sitting here behind the Roscommon forward line, and we're looking at them. And the movement, there's no outlet, there's no movement. You look at the Bernard Brogan.
we can take a look at exactly what you guys.
Non-stop. Now watch, what options have they got ahead? Right, Mayo are allowing them plenty of time in the ball. There's no movement inside Michael, no movement in the full forward line at all, and signs on turnover. So Mayo
title, but that's enough for the year, because there's a lot more in this team you would like to imagine.
Yeah, they have to throw the shackles off and have a real go here in the second half. You know, they're disappointing in the last 20 minutes of the first half.
This could be a very good start, and is for Conor Devaney and Roscommon. Just as in the first half, they make a sparkling start to the opening part of the second 35 minutes here. And the margin's down to 1 straight away. Fintan Craig just been whistled back here because Keegan was exerting an enormous influence out around the middle of the park going forward, as we heard, highest scorer in the match. As that one is kicked in and kicked over the bar. Beautifully done this time by Dermot Murtagh. Wonderful left-footed kicker. And Kevin McStay's team. Jared Cafferty back in to try and help out as Seamus O'Shea, but it's Connolly still in the clear. Back in here to Murtagh. It's Dermot Murtagh fisting off the goalkeeper's paw and putting it over the bar. A second point for Dermot Murtagh. Beautifully inside here. An opportunity. Doherty, back it comes to Aidan O'Shea, forced back out. Out it comes and it's kicked. And once again, that man who loves scoring in Croke Park, Paddy Durkin, gets his first point of the day here, and it's Mayo's first of the second half.
Yeah, important score. We've seen it in the Shane bomb.
Various injuries, trying to get back his form of former years. And this is going to be the captain for Roscommon, Kieran Murtagh, score of a goal and a point from a free. And Roscommon lead the match again. And chipping it in here towards Killian O'Connor. Now to recycle it. Now to try and work a better angle. Andy's done that. Cracks it brilliantly. That's a bit more like it from Andy Moran. That's what you expect from this great leader, playing in his 54th ever match in the Mayo colours. And he has levelled the game again for the 4th time. Well, who's going to win it now at this stage? Mayo with Aidan O'Shea setting up the next attack, taking it back strongly, and in with the arm of Niall McInerney, and the referee will step in to deal with this, and it heats up quite considerably before calm is restored.
These next 5 minutes are crucial for Roscommon because Mayo's big players are now getting on the ball. We've seen Aidan O'Shea involved a couple of times, we've seen Andy Moran, we've seen Killian O'Connor, so the next 5 minutes are crucial for Roscommon.
Now McInerney just awaiting his fate. Goal and 4 when the teams last met in the league. Goal coming from a penalty, but this is the championship and it's the quarterfinals, and it's an important kick, and he has missed. Quick race. Again, the ball skidding on the turf here. Just gets away from Dermot Murtagh, but recovered by Enda Smith. Kicked in dangerously. Donny Smith. That's over the bar. That's what you expect from this wonderful young footballer, Donny Smith. His 13th ever championship point. And he has put the Rossies in front again with 55 minutes gone.
Great finish, but what a ball by Enda Smith. He's going away from goal, and he just sees his brother coming on the inside and picks him out. Delightful pass.
Conor Loftus has just come on, or is about to come on, I should say. Before that, Lee Keegan gives it off instead towards Doherty. Now it's back once again with Keegan. Then to Tom Parsons, the substitute, and that one has gone wide. The agony, you could feel it all around here of the Mayo fans. The man who got the opening point in last year's All-Ireland final against Dublin, and there's got to be another change. And we're going to see, first of all, Higgins was involved. Donald Vaughan chipped inside here. The man you could depend upon usually, and that man again has done it. Cillian O'Connor has got a third point, his first from open play. And after 65 minutes, the teams are level once again.
Excellent score by Cillian. You know, when you need your big players to step up, you know, he did exactly that. He draws Mayo right back in this contest.
It's a nail-biter, this one, that's for sure. Fintan Craig all the way down here, but out of play. Line ball to quickly transferred and caught brilliantly by Aidan O'Shea before it could reach David Murray, who would have been an unlikely hero for Roscommon. But the heroics are being provided by Aidan O'Shea.
Such an important interception that year. Unbelievable.
Tom Parsons again cuts back through a couple of Roscommon players. McLaughlin, who's got his hands on the ball so often in this match, again buzzing around there at half forward. Loftus playing it back out here, kept in play somehow by Stephen Cohen. Back once again to Conor Loftus from Crossmolina. Aidan O'Shea, who started all of that with the intervention at one end. Parsons taking seconds off the clock, looking to try and get themselves into a scoring position. Well, the bravery of Durkin is rewarded. Not for the first time. Paddy Durkin has come up trumps at Croke Park. He's done it in All-Ireland finals, he's done it here, and Mayo lead by 112 to 2-8.
What a score, Ger. After he missed the last shot, to back himself again, shows tremendous courage, and he got his...
Behind him, can he make it? They're a point behind. It's hanging in the air, it's moving in there, and he's got it! What a point! Donny Smith has done it for Roscommon, levelled up the game.
Excellent score, Ger. Talk about a pressure kick, when it was on the wrong side, it just...
In space, over there, David Drake. Giving it off towards Cillian O'Connor, up into the air, travelling, moving, but gone wide. Fouled in the mind of the referee, so he's bringing the ball forward 13 metres. Is it within range, I wonder?
He's coming across. Cillian demanded that ball, so he definitely fancied it.
Cillian O'Connor, scorer of 3 points already in this match.
It's a massive kick, Ger. It's a massive distance.
It is a huge distance, you're quite right, Kevin. It's the best part of 48 metres, 50 metres out from the target. This to win, maybe. Can he do it? He's done it so often in the past. Drops it short. Lavin gets it away. Is there to be a winner? Will it go for another match? Oh, they've lost it. Enda Smith has lost it. Donny Vaughan has got it back. Aidan O'Shea's got it in here. Trying to release it. Giving it to a kicker. Giving it there to O'Connor. Up into the air it goes again, but this time well away. And surely it's only a matter of seconds now before the referee will blow his whistle, although he would be in fight. Mayo trying to win it here at the first attempt and not see a replay. Up it goes to Kevin McLaughlin. Bounces away from him. Kilroy gets involved. They win it back. It's Maluli who takes it. Quite a battle. McManus then after that. Again the referee blows his whistle. Has a little word or two. Play's going to continue. We're in the 8th minute at this stage of the announced 6, but the referee is perfectly within his rights. Keith Higgins about to be yellow carded.
Fantastic finish to the game. Both teams probably had chances to win it. 2 great shots from Cillian, but it looks like we're going for another day.
Certainly does that at this stage. Does either team deserve to lose it? But they'll take the win if it comes their way. They're going to have to do it all over again. It has finished level here at Croke Park in this All-Ireland football quarter-final. Mayo maybe had the better of things for much of the second half, but Roscommon also dug deep. The two managers share a word or two, and then
It's ended in a draw.
Yeah, it's probably a fair reflection of the game at the end there. Both teams had chances to win it, so look, it's a draw. Both teams will take it, and we'll go back now and find out when the replay is.
You made an explosive start to this game, 7 points up in 10 or 12 minutes, but then drifted out for a huge period.
Yeah, we did. We started strongly, but we conceded some silly scores. Conceded a goal right after scoring one ourselves, so that puts you under pressure again. So look, we'll take the draw at this stage and we'll battle on now.
Just like the first half, of course, the second half you came out again and the belief really grew that you could win this game.
Yeah, there's massive belief in the squad, and you can see that players coming on there and driving it on at the end of the game. So look, we have a draw now and we'll battle on for the next week.
How much will the experience of this game here in Croke Park against Mayo bring you on for that replay?
Yeah, it's massive to get up here for a quarter final and get some into the legs, big games into the legs. So look, we have another day out now and we'll put the heads down for the week.
Whose advantage is it going to be heading into that replay?
I don't think there's an answer to that.
Okay, well done, Kieran.
Thank you. Thank you.
Exciting finish to the match, obviously, here at Croke Park. They're going to have to go at it again. And I think in this scenario, we have to pay compliments to both teams who really served up fully committed football. I hope the panel would agree with that.
No,
well,
Michael,
it was frantic.
Michael, it was fully committed football. Fully committed, very exciting. But Michael, let's be honest, let's be brutally honest, it was an awful game of football. It was a very, very low standard of football. Defence was dominating. It looked like two teams who were...
I enjoyed it, but I don't know much about it, really.
I just thought it was two teams who were... I thought it was
Don't make them worse
two
than he
teams who
is.
were afraid to lose and didn't know how to win or didn't have the guts to go and try to win the game. No, it was a disappointing contest. Both have a lot of improvement to do, but look, they'll improve in the replay, please God.
Both have an opportunity to improve.
It was very frantic and it was very enjoyable. And it was very important for Roscommon to get that game in Croke Park. It was a big step up and it's a new experience. Mayo were very poor. I said earlier on in the year, this is it, they're gone. You know, the prospect of an All-Ireland is gone. They are light years away from that.
4 points second half, Joe.
I mean, you know, the two O'Shea boys were totally anonymous today. Cillian O'Connor was anonymous. Diarmuid O'Connor anonymous. I mean, they have so many problems. Andy Moran was actually, for all the fact that he wasn't able to run and win the ball, and for all the fact that he was still their best forward today, which is a huge problem for them. Again, the centre of their defence was wide open. If Roscommon had a bit more zip, a bit more pace in there, they would have scored 4 or 5 goals. And
a bit more ambition.
Really, I mean, there was nothing between the teams, and that's a true reflection of it. I'll tell you, the difference between Mayo losing this and drawing it was Keegan again. Yeah. You know, but how long can one man continue to drive you on like that?
But the point about it is, Colin Moore, you can say all of those things, but Mayo and Roscommon, obviously, are still in this championship and still with a great chance of making an All-Ireland semi-final.
I think the magical tour of Mayo continues as well, but I don't see any prospect of either side winning the All-Ireland. But in saying that, I thought it was wonderful.
It was great
altogether. Absolute total commitment. The bravery of all the players involved and the excitement for the crowd. Like the Mayo supporters must have been thinking the thing was over. Then the momentum shifted. But like Mayo had that game in the last 10 minutes. They got in front. They should have put their foot on Roscommon's throat. Cillian O'Connor missed a couple of bad ones. Paddy Durkin missed the bad ones. But all in all, I think after coming from 7 points behind, Mayo might be quite happy to get out.
And yet, Colin, and yet Roscommon had 2 great chances where a man was inside the defence and the fist pass didn't go far. And can I just say a word on Joe McQuillan, the referee, in today?
Yes.
I thought that he contributed magnificently today. No black cards. There was a lot of hitting. There were a lot of dodgy moments there. He gave the benefit of the doubt all the time, and that's what the people want to see. We want to see games without cards. Let them play. Unless there's something malicious, unless there's something that you really have to take action on, let them play. I thought he was excellent.
We're going
and
to
that
take a break shortly.
contributed
Pat,
to
you wanted to say
Well, I
something.
want to make look. It was a really exciting game. It was a really enthralling game. It was full of passion, full of physicality, the fitness levels, the effort, the commitment, the atmosphere.
brilliant, yeah.
But let's
You're
be-
beginning to change your opinion of this match now that you're talking.
Except Michael, it was low in quality, and let's be honest,
right, he's
as
right,
the boy
he's
said,
right.
none of these two teams, barring an unbelievable, miraculous improvement, none of these two teams will be winning in all.
Dubs would
And
beat them up
I'll
and down
eat
the
my
country.
shirt if they do. Jesus.
I think on that note, we will take a short break.
Yes, but you'd prefer to see a game like that than Dublin mauling Westmeath or Dublin beating Kildare, or the first game today where Kerry were more or less in charge from start to finish, and it looked as if Galway didn't ever believe they could win. So, like, Roscommon have come to Croke Park, they've had a big game, they haven't been beaten. The Mayo voyage just goes on, but they're staggering now. They're like a punch-drunk fighter, just waiting for somebody to give them the final knockout blow.
And I mean, you'd have to. Can I just mention the epic free by Donny Smith to equalise the game? You know, it was a great sporting moment. You know, and I know that everybody in Dodds will be raising a glass of stout to him this evening. I wish I was up there.
Well, it was a pressure kick.
And bear in mind that Kieran Murta, who was the left-footed free taker, had gone off. So, I mean, this Donny having been introduced. So, but bear in mind...
I thought he made a substantial improvement.
He did,
Donny
he played
when he
well.
came on.
Donny Smith scored the point of this year's championship against Galway in the
Mayo.
Against Mayo
Today,
and this was absolutely superb.
And he got a beautiful one just before that too. Him and the brother worked a very good score. So he made a huge contribution in a very low-scoring game, which was, you know, where defences were dominant.
Look, I mean, I was just looking at the statistic there, which is very interesting. It must be a record for a game. 56 turnovers in a match. It tells two things. It tells you the level of physicality and the quality of the tackling by both sets. At the same time, it also tells you that a lot of them turnovers were...
By another Connacht man, Eamon O'Hara, all-star footballer. What did you make of it?
Yeah, it was a fantastic game of football. It was exciting. It had all sorts. There was lots of spills, lots of mistakes, lots of turnovers, but there was some great passages of football as well. A lot of questions were asked about Roscommon coming into it, and they showed everybody that they're equally as good as this Mayo team. But a lot of people have said about this Mayo team, there's going to be a kick in them, there's going to be a big performance, and it wasn't. It never really came here. So, you know, Mayo will leave wondering, have they got it in the belly? Have they really, really got it deep down? Now, saying that, Killian O'Connor had a couple of chances to kick them over the bar. Unfortunately, they went wide, but fortunately for us, we're getting a second day out.
And Roscommon, were the Connacht champions?
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about that. That's not up for discussion or question at all. Kevin McStay has done
any great pattern to play, but a lot of the problems with players were they were carrying the ball into contact and easily stripped. You know, at this level, you would expect the players would try and play the ball away before they take the tackle. And a game like that suits Mayo because they are more physical.
But the problem
Let's hear from the Mayo manager, Stephen Rochford. He's talking to Claire.
Stephen, incredible drama and excitement there at the end, and you've got another replay to face into, your third this summer.
Yeah, and maybe lucky to have got that. I know we had 3 opportunities there to get that 1 point ahead, but you know, really disappointing. Second half. At the same time, we'd given Roscommon a 7-point lead. I come back and put ourselves in really good position at half time, but never drove on. And you know, we'll do it all again next weekend.
Yeah, you had those opportunities there at the end, and I know after a draw it's always funny. So is the overriding feeling disappointment or relief?
A bit of both, I suppose. That's the strange thing about a draw. You're looking at the relief side around, you know, opportunities that maybe Roscommon could have had, and then you're looking at, you know, ball being saved under the crossbar, 1 or 2 wides. But look, at any of this, you know, if we'd come out with a 1-point win, we'd still be looking for improvement the next day, and that's no different now.
Very early in this game you find yourself 7 points down, but you turn that into a 2-point lead by half time, and we thought maybe you would push on, but that didn't happen. Roscommon came back at you.
Yeah, and it's something that we'll have to look at. I mean, you know, they kicked the 2 points pretty quick, I think, in probably 4 to 5 minutes of the second half, and you know, it just became nip and tuck then for the rest of the game. And we had pushed ourselves to, you know, we were looking to go 2 to 3 points up there going into that last 5-minute period, but we never got to that 3rd point, and you know, it came back to hurt us.
You're going to have to go again. We don't know if it's next week or in a fortnight's time. Your stamina is really going to be truly tested.
Yeah, but look, I mean, you know, that's why guys are training now since, you know, January. And if you don't close it out on day 1, what do you have to do? But you know, we're happy to get a second bite at it because you know that performance at times didn't necessarily warrant it, but we're still there, and I know that we'll be given a biggest fight as we did in the previous game.
Thank you very much, Stephen.
Cheers, thanks.
Stephen Rochford, the Mayo manager. Joe Bradley, you said just now he must be gutted because essentially you're saying that's the end of the road.
So
why?
It's the end of the road. I mean, I said it before the Derry game. I mean, Derry almost beat them. I mean, the Derry team that had 12 defections from the panel, that didn't even have a sub-goalkeeper, down in Mayo, and they were roared on that day by a magnificent home support, and that's what kept them going that day. Derry had their game won, actually, on a number of occasions. Then again, the last day, they really struggled against Cork. Cork had 5 goal chances, scored 2. And again, he must be wondering where has it all gone wrong, because they've dropped so far from the levels we've associated.
I know,
that
yeah.
Mayo team with.
I
mean, you just think to yourself, you parachute Dublin into that game today, or Kerry. What were they going to do to Roscommon?
I accept what you're saying.
Sort of,
it is a fair point. But the other side of it is they are showing an awful lot of.
That's the bottom line.
they are, but they're toiling so hard against limited teams.
They are still in the championship. They played for 50 minutes against Galway, and Galway fell over the line by a point. They were 6 points down against Clare, playing against the wind in the second half, and won comfortably. They were 2 points down in first half of extra time against Cork, and came back and won. And the one thing you have to say about these Mayo players, yes, I don't think, sadly, they're ever going to win the All-Ireland. But what they have in abundance is the